So, guys, Nnamdi Kanu was in court today, but something very bad and terrible actually happened in court because he no longer trust what Justice James Omotosho is actually doing. I'm going to show you what happened today in court. Remember, today being the 16th day of October, he was meant to the court led by Justice James Omotosho was meant to rule on his health grounds. And now the Nigerian Medical Association have actually assessed Nnamdi Kanu and actually submitted their own report about his health conditions and all that. And I'm going to show you what James Omotosho said today. It is really pathetic that in the north these people are having a field day. Terrorists have been negotiated with, but on Nnamdi Kanu's case, they were sworn that they will not allow that particular man to be free or probably have peace. I'm going to dissect and analyze everything that happened. It is really sad. And Nnamdi Kanu was visibly angry today. You could see how he's not even looking sound or probably healthy. And people are asking what is even going on. And I'm going to show you what Yele Sowore said after concerning the court case that actually happened today at the Federal High Court in Abuja. It literally makes no sense. Now let me show you that wasting your time. Justice James Omotosho, after assessing the medical report that was submitted by the Nigerian Medical Association, said that Nnamdi Kanu has no reason, or there is no reason to transfer Nnamdi Kanu from the DSS Medical Center to any other hospital for treatment. That the DSS Medical Center is actually okay to treat Nnamdi Kanu or whatever sickness that is actually passing through. But this is not fair. Somebody is telling you that the DSS medical facility is not okay for him. His lawyers are saying that he's complaining that they're not giving him a better treatment at the DSS facility. So his right to health is his fundamental right. It's not like this particular man is giving you people an unknown hospital where he wants to be treated. You people know the hospital. What you should do is not to provide security at that particular hospital, probably to secure or probably to monitor him and all that. It's not like he's running away or probably escaping from the trial and all that. He's actually concerned about his health, and the right to health is somebody's fundamental right. So his right to health is his fundamental right. Somebody can say I'm not confident. It's like me saying I don't want this particular doctor to treat me because I suspect that this particular doctor is biased, or probably this particular doctor is not giving me his best. This has to do with matter of health and life. So you can decide and say, I don't want this doctor to treat me because I don't have confidence in this particular doctor, which is basically the truth. You can decide whoever wants to treat you, provided that this particular man do not want to evade trial. It's a man that is alive that will actually face trial. But apart from that, it's really sad. And look at what happened. And after that, the judge now told Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer that they have until the 23rd of October, this particular month, to open up their defense, and they have up to 30th to close their defense. So Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer will open their defense on the 23rd of October and end it on or before 30th of October. So they have about 7 days or 1 week to open their defense and actually close it. This particular James Omotosho, when he started, a lot of people we are happy with the way he started because he seemed not to be biased. But as time goes by, a lot of people are losing confidence. Are you sure that this particular man has not been biased, or probably has not been influenced by the federal government, or probably particularly these northerners that do not want Nnamdi Kanu to actually be released and all that? It is really sad. So Nnamdi Kanu now will now come out and open his defense on the 23rd of this particular month. So he has 7 days, meaning he has to call his witnesses and those that will come and testify that this and that and that for Nnamdi Kanu, and the federal government, being the prosecution team, will now come and interrogate the witnesses that Nnamdi Kanu will bring. And many people are asking, who are these particular witnesses? Well, we are going to see and we are going to analyze every single thing that works. But I want to say something here. It is not fair. Yesterday or 2 days ago, the bandits in the north, you could see the video playing, came out in mass. So before I continue, please, it will not cost you anything to just tap on the like button, like this particular video, so you can go viral and people will see what is actually happening. And drop your comments and write freedom for Nnamdi Kanu in the comment section. It will not cost you any single thing for you to do that. Please, that's the only way you can support us here and make us to propagate this particular news so that international communities will see what's actually happening. So like, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and click on the notification bell, because this particular month is going to be a very hot and intense month for the case of Nnamdi Kanu. Let's continue. Came out in mass and in numbers, and they were fully welcomed by the local government areas in that particular state, and negotiations happened. It's not like the Nigerian federal government do not see these things. Neither is that they are deaf to this particular thing, but they are in support of it. But whenever it is Nnamdi Kanu's case, you see them, they will start growing wings and probably start sending threats and all that, to tell you the intentional marginalization of the Igbos. I'm going to show you what Yele Sowore said about today's court session and all that. Remember, the other day, the local government chairman of one particular local government in Katsina attended the wedding ceremony of a bandit's daughter. they're having a feast day over there in the north. The federal government do not care. But immediately it's Nnamdi Kanu's case, which is very fundamental to the peace of the Southeast region. They will ensure that they will stand that rest. Just look at the protest that Yellow Sowore wants to carry out on the 20th of October. There is no amount of threat that the federal government has not really sent to Yellow Sowore, Atiku Abubakar and co that wants to participate in that particular protest. I keep on wondering, why is Nnamdi Kanu's case quite different? You people know that his release and freedom is the ultimate goal or probably solution to the insecurity in the Southeastern region. Bola Tinubu the other day was busy granting pardon to criminals, hardened criminals, and the federal government came out and started defending it, that the reason why they released those criminals, drug traffickers and human traffickers and all sorts of corrupt people, was because they want national healing. You want national healing, meanwhile you're still keeping them the kind of detention. Meanwhile you're pardoning criminals, thieves, and even murderers. To tell you the bias against the Igbo people, to tell you the level of rascality of this particular government. And now you people want this particular man to open up his defense. Let me briefly show you what Yellow Sowore said, then we'll talk about other things. Now look at what Yellow Sowore said today. Yellow Sowore said that very soon that the Federal High Court in Abuja will begin today's sitting to continue the so-called terrorism trial of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu. Yet, that this moment, so he said this moment, today's proceedings represent Nigeria's best opportunity to end the carried once and for all. For years, Nnamdi Kanu has been subjected to a sham trial built on politics, prejudice, and suppression. That this process began its second phase with his illegal and extraordinary rendition from Kenya. Every day this continues. It deepens Nigeria's crisis of justice and erodes what remains of faith in the rule of law. The Attorney General of the Federation still has a few hours today to do the right thing, to file a nolle prosequi, a formal motion discontinuing this trial, and acknowledge that this case should never have been brought in the first place. Likewise, Justice James Omotosho has the rare chance to make history by standing on the side of truth and fairness and humanity, and by tossing out this particular case entirely. Such an action would not only restore some dignity to Nigerian justice system, but also save the official bad administration from further embarrassment, giving Nigeria a chance to finally move beyond the disgraceful chapter that has dragged on for far too long. Free Nnamdi Kanu. You could see how Yellow Sowore was admonishing James Omotosho that he should actually do the needful and uphold justice, because one, he cannot build on illegality. What I mean by illegality is that since the federal government and the Kenyan court and every other body has ruled that his extraordinary rendition from Kenya was illegal, he cannot. That means he stands to be a kidnapped victim. And there is nowhere on earth where a kidnapped victim is being tried, which is what a lot of people are saying. There is nowhere on earth where a kidnapped victim is being tried. You cannot try a kidnapped victim. The first and the most important thing to do is to free a kidnapped victim. Since it has been acknowledged that what the federal government did, remember, Justice Professor Lumumba in Kenya got that particular victory for Nnamdi Kanu, where it ruled that the extraordinary rendition was illegal, and they even fined the Kenyan government to pay Nnamdi Kanu about 120 million naira, about 12 million Kenyan shillings and all that, and equally prosecuted the federal, and equally fined and faulted the federal government of Nigeria for participating in such rascal movement. So his illegal extraordinary rendition means he is a kidnapped victim, and this is what Yellow Sowore is telling James Omotosho. Even in your profession, you know that there is no way where on earth whereby a kidnapped victim is tried. So people are saying free him first, because the way and the manner through which you arrested him or illegally arrested him is illegal, and for that particular singular reason, this particular man remains a kidnapped victim. He went ahead to tell Bola Tinubu that this is a time for him to rewrite history and make sure that he stops this particular embarrassment on the country. I've often said it here, and I've often told Bola Tinubu that this particular Nnamdi Kanu's battle was not even a battle. It is the battle of the Buhari's cabal, the Fulani cabals, the Gabashehu, Abakairi, and a whole lot of them who were the cabals ruling under Buhari's government. They wanted to make sure that Nnamdi Kanu was actually arrested. So it is like a personal vendetta against him. So Bola Tinubu, I've often told him several times that this is not his battle. This is not his battle. But a lot of people have now seen that Tinubu wants to use this particular case as a political case. He wants to know if Nnamdi Kanu, if he can actually use this thing to win the North, because he knows that probably the North will not be happy if he frees Nnamdi Kanu. So he's trying to play his political cards ahead of 2027. He is unsure if this particular man will actually be released. If he releases this particular man, if the North will vote for him. So a lot of people are saying that he is waiting after the 2027 presidential election before probably he can say, okay, this or free him and all that. for now, he wants to, make sure that he wins the 2027 presidential election. That is his agenda, that is his plan, and that is his methodology. That is what he wants. And I've often said it, Bola Tinubu is using Nnamdi Kanu as a pawn or a pawn, a political a prisoner. He's playing a chess game with it, because he's considering, if I free this particular man, will they not vote for me? How will they not react to this particular news? Because remember, a lot of people, the Northerners, Bashir Ahmad, who was Buhari's SE, who was Buhari's PA or whatever, was busy saying that anybody, because when Atiku Abubakar called for the release of and freedom of this particular man, he was busy saying that anybody calling for the freedom of Nnamdi Kanu is this and that and that. The basic truth is that this I just explained now is why Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention. Bola Tinubu don't want to use his prerogative of right. It is enshrined in Section 175 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which he used to pardon these criminals a few weeks ago. He does not want to exercise that right on Nnamdi Kanu because he is afraid of what the Northerners will think. That is why, did the presidency talk about anything about the negotiation with bandits that is currently ongoing? Even when Sheikh Gumi came out and warned the federal government and Bola Tinubu that they should not interfere in the negotiation between bandits and communities, did Bola Tinubu do anything? No. But immediately in Nnamdi Kanu's case, the North will start threatening him, telling him, if you free this particular man, forget about the bulk of the vote from the northern region. And Bola Tinubu is scared that he might actually lose the bulk of the vote from the north. But this is not fair. This is injustice, and this is very cruel from the presidency. You are granting pardon to criminals, but a man that is actually a freedom fighter, you have refused intentionally to grant him freedom. Not just that, you know that he is the route to the peace, to the restoration of peace in the southeast region, but you have refused adamantly to do that. If you know that if you release this particular man, the criminals that are actually perpetrating evil in the southeast region will be captured, because when he is free, nobody will come and tell you are carrying out this particular ad because this particular man is being detained or not. No, those criminals will be apprehended and they will be exposed. And he has said it that his release will bring ultimate peace and freedom and peace and security to the entire southeast region, which is basically the truth. So many people are saying, many people have called Yellow Sowore, Atiku Abubakar, and Dele Momodu. A lot of people are calling. People have called Bola Tinubu, do the needful and free this particular man unconditionally. There is no point. There is no single point. I can boldly hit my chest and tell you that there is no single point in still detaining this particular man. It makes no sense.